This is just one battle after another. We start at 174. There's Evans for Iowa. Mike Evans, the junior out of Pennsylvania, up against Logan Storley from Minnesota.
You know, Tim, we talked in the open about guys, you know, getting an arrow pointed in the right direction this time of year, and this is a really critical time. I think these two guys here, Evans and Storley, have had battles in the past, but you know, you've got a very tough weight class with the returning national champions and Howe and Smith, Perry from, Oklahoma State. And these guys are, I wouldn't say in danger of moving to the next level, but you know, you certainly don't want to be pointed in the wrong direction. One of these guys will move forward off of this, with Kokesh getting better, with Brown from Penn State. These two guys kind of round out those top guys in this weight class, and you know, this is maybe the first rung of the ladder here to finishing a good season.
Last time these guys met in a duel meet, Minnesota beating Iowa in the national duels, and Storley beat Evans 3-1, cementing his #1 ranking at the time, and then things got tough at the Big Tens.
Yeah, and Evans hasn't had a big win, you know, as of late. There's a low shot there by Storley, and pretty crafty wrestler. See how he's keeping that elbow deep?
Potentially dangerous.
Wow.
The knee was bending a way that Pat Fitzgerald, the official, didn't like it. Called him back to the center. 2 minutes and 5 seconds left in the first period.
Well, the winner out of that exchange then was Evans, because I didn't see it that way, but good opportunity for him to clear the scoreboard and get back and get on his offense.
Storley's never redshirted. He was an All-American as a true freshman, All-American last year as a sophomore.
Center, center, center.
Evans, an All-American last year.
Good job, guys. Good job. Get in the middle.
6th place at the NCAA championships, 174.
Yeah, these guys had wrestled before where one guy had the top ranking. Well, now they're down a little bit more at 5 and 6, and you'd like to see them open up a little bit more and maybe take the lessons from that and help their season.
Good. I like that. Pass that.
As you look up on the line here at 84, 97 heavyweight, really, really important that Evans for Iowa gets one of those signature wins for his team. And Storley feeling like he wants to establish himself back up there, as you said, Jim. As we look at the rankings, they're there. They're not in the top 4.
Well, much like
there they are, 5 and 6.
Yeah, much like Dylan Ness we saw earlier, he puts pressure. Storley puts pressure on the guy who rides him. You know, he can get reversals at any time, and he can follow it up with a pretty decent ride himself. So a scoreless first period doesn't necessarily hurt him. It's good to see him on the offense if you're a Minnesota fan. But for Evans, I mean, I think he really has to go out there and try to create some action here and jack him up and throw caution to the wind a little bit.
20 seconds left in the first period, and the wind's won here so far because there's been too much caution by both wrestlers. 0-0, 10 seconds left in the first period, no score.
Yeah, it's not like it's not getting physical out there.
No, it's not like they like each other.
Yeah. There's more evidence. Evans coming in with a straight-on headbutt. Yeah, now that's going to be. So the referee didn't catch that early. Didn't make note of it, but Evans really came at him with the top of his head early, and Storley kind of let you know in that last exchange what he thought of it. Jay Robinson telling him to calm down.
Evans deferred his choice, and Logan Storley will choose down to begin the second period.
You know, but that's kind of what these guys need, all right? They need a little bit of this. Nobody's getting hurt out there, but they need a little bit of, let's ratchet it up a little bit. We'll see what happens.
Evans starts on top, and Storley, as you talked about, Jim, he's so good on the bottom, and there he elevates, but Evans stays with him really nice, staying close to the hips, staying in control, no change.
Yeah, nice job of rolling through by Evans, and he's going to win that exchange. 21 seconds of riding time. But you can see how Storley puts the pressure on the top man. Stay with him.
Now the crowd's getting back into it. Maybe a little bit of the, the roughing up, and a nice job of following through by Evans there.
Good.
But
Top man.
little action brings this large crowd on a Saturday afternoon to life.
Hands are split, but Evans is able to get elbow deep there, high in the crotch there, to be able to go ahead and follow up and drop down on the leg. So,
well, now you're starting to think, when you're approaching that 40 seconds of riding time, you're starting to really look at that opportunity that Evans has.
Does have an opportunity. Of course, Storley pretty good in the top position as well, so you've got to bank on as much time as you can in these tight matches. Look what Evans does right now is he'll at the hand fighting moment, he'll go deep, elbow deep with the, works on the ankle, but look at the left arm right now. Left arm works the far ankle. What keeps him from being called for stalling in there is just his footwork, but he hasn't really, the action really is he hasn't moved off the ankle. He shouldn't get about 10 seconds on the ankle. He's able to drop back down on it.
Well, Evans starting to make a statement. Last year, Storley and Evans wrestled 3 times. Yep. Every time, Storley won.
Well, and every time it's something like that on the edge of the mat here where Storley's able to get that timely escape. Just finds a way to win matches, and Evans was working hard in the top position there, and now Storley still looks pretty fresh for all that work he put in the bottom position.
They met in the NCAA championships. Storley winning 3-2. They met in the 2 dual meets last year. Storley winning 3-1 and 4-3. Always close, always Storley last year. Right now, Storley out in front 1-0, but 1:05 riding time for Evans here in the second period. 20 seconds left. The Minnesota Gophers out in front of the Hawkeyes, 12-9.
Both guys trying to gather themselves a little bit from that exchange on the mat. Seems like it. Not really committing to it. But again, Evans really wrestling pretty high. He hasn't been able to get any shots off. He hasn't been able to break through the head-hands defense of Logan Storley.
Well, Evans good his opportunity now to come out from underneath. He chooses down. Storley's in front. Jim, you talked about it. Storley good in all positions, especially good on the top. Right now, he needs to at least ride 6 seconds to get rid of the riding time.
He looked over to his corner. They gave him the 5-finger salute, basically, to let him know he had to ride for 5 seconds. He just did that. Actually, we're at 10. But, right now, you just go ahead and take your opportunities and see if you can ride him the whole period. Evans hand fighting. Looks like Storley's willing to go ahead and let him go.
And there's the escape. It's all tied up. There's no riding time advantage. It comes down to this, 1.5 minutes. Carver Hawkeye Arena. Evans trying to get his first win over Storley in the last 2 years. He's 0-3 against the junior from Minnesota. 2 juniors going at it, 2 highly ranked. Now number 5, number 6, and it's all tied up in the last period.
Right now, if you just look at the position, Storley just looks to be a little bit lower. Evans tried that straight-on shot that Storley was able to get a counter shot off of, but 1:03. Yeah, you hope the guys at this level don't just settle to go into overtime and try to create some offense. This is where you work on your, you knew coming into this match who you're wrestling, watch some film, see maybe some tendencies. What did you gather from that to create a go-to shot at this point in time in the match?
The fans would like to see Evans' go-to shot. They want to will him through it. They'll cheer him through it. They're ready to explode. Carver Hawkeye on a Saturday afternoon. Iowa, Minnesota, border war, and it's 12-9. 2-3 matchup, living up to its billing. 20 seconds left in regulation. We go to overtime. We'll talk about overtime. We'll go straight to a sudden victory, 1 minute period. But will one of these guys score here in the last 10 seconds? You gotta pull the trigger, Jim.
There's the double leg shot.
There's the trigger. Duck. And the time runs out. We go to overtime.
Well, that's what's so frustrating. All that was available a minute earlier. And give Storley the credit for going after it there, and that's why you can see how dangerous he is.
We put 1 minute on the clock. They go right to it. Any score There's your winner. Sudden victory.
Evans really needs to get on his offense right now. What is he trying to accomplish out here? There's a low ankle pick.
If there's no score in this minute, we'll go to 2 30-second periods. We'll talk about it when we get there.
Hard on the collar tie right there.
We're in overtime. It's 174 pounds. And this very close meet between the Gophers and the Hawkeyes. 4 matches to go. We're in overtime at 174. Good look at Logan Storley. Mike Evans, number 5 and 6th ranked wrestlers in the nation, going at it. Evans trying to break a losing streak against Storley. Lost 3 times last year. There's Doug. Little flurry.
Nice work by both guys there. No points.
No points. And it was an interesting move by Storley there at the end.
Yeah, he's waiting at the end of the period here. He's clearly decided in this match that he's going to try to go ahead and score at the end, but everything he's looking for might be available there early for Evans. He looked a little bit more active in the back part of that match with that last 10, 15 seconds as well.
2 30-second periods. We wrestled just like a match. We wrestle them all out, and whoever scores the most, if there's a leader at the end of these 2 periods, they're the winner.
See how Evans is locked in the crotch there almost immediately. This is a scoring opportunity.
Stalemate.
I'm going to call a stalemate.
Tom Brandt's not at all happy with that, and he's going to let Pat know, and Pat Fitzgerald's not going to stand for it.
It's an advantage position for his guy. And this might be a little bit of, see, he's got a leg, it comes to the far ankle. And really, that's Storley's problem that he's in the position he's in because he switches into it instead of kicks out.
The official, Pat Fitzgerald, gives a warning to the Iowa bench, to Tom Brands.
Now, that was real
arguing.
warning. Yeah.
He was emphatic, and now Storley gets an opportunity. Storley chose down to begin this. Evans will go down to start the second of these 30-second periods. Great ride by Evans.
Yeah, it is. Yep, ankle to ankle.
And there's the end of the first 30-second period in the first overtime period. And now Evans underneath, the crowd on their feet. All he has to do is get an escape and hold it. There's Joe Williams, 3-time NCAA champion, Olympian, standing there in the front row, back at his alma mater.
And right now, Evans has an advantage. All he has to do is peel hands.
And he peels. Now, can Storley give a takedown?
Now, Evans has not been warned for, well, he had the warning for stalling, so that may make a difference. Short time. Evans going to play the edge. Warning Iowa, the first warning.
8 seconds left. If Evans can hold on, he will have this overtime win and the first win against his nemesis in 4 tries. And he does! Evan brings the crowd to his feet and brings Iowa even with the Gophers. 12-12. What a win for Mike Evans over Logan Storley.